Welcome to Abundant Youniverse, your go-to podcast for becoming your most empowered, powerful, abundant, truest, and highest possible self through self-mastery, quantum healing, spiritual activation, soul expansion, and ascension. Here we talk about your self-concept, subconscious beliefs, science, spirituality, mindful manifestation, magic, mysticism, remembering and embodying who you really are, and all things esoteric. I'm your friendly neighborhood self-mastery and mindful manifestation mentor, energy alchemist, quantum healer, spiritual ascension activator, and host, Elle Brandlin. And today we're talking about how to feel fulfilled every day and consciously create a reality beyond your dreams. So hang out until the end to learn what you can do to make that happen. And be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening and give us a rating and review if you find the show helpful. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like and maybe even share if you know somebody who would find this helpful. So everyone wants to feel fulfilled in their lives, right? I don't think you're going to find anyone who's like, nah, you know what? I just want to live a meaningless life where I settle for less than I want and deserve and then just die with unfulfilled dreams in my heart. Know what I mean? I don't think there's anybody out there who feels that way. But I think a lot of people don't even know what that is or what fulfillment even looks like for them because we're constantly being distracted from thinking about it. Because you got to forfeit your dreams and go out there and make someone else rich. But that time is finally coming to a close the more and more people begin to awaken. So I'm going to ask you right now, and I hope you'll take the time to ponder it or even meditate and or journal on it. What does a fulfilling life look like to you? Because that's going to look different and feel different to different people. So what would you be doing each day if you felt fulfilled every day? What would your mornings look like? What would you do in the afternoon and at night? Who would you spend your time with? What truly fulfills your soul? Really give yourself the freedom to not only think about this, but feel into it. Don't use your logical, physical mind, but allow your imagination to take you to a place of bliss. Because your logical mind has been conditioned to believe that you cannot have the things that bring you joy and bliss. You're not supposed to follow your dreams, right? We each came into this life with a soul plan and kind of a blueprint. The plan is for what your soul wanted to accomplish, experience, and learn in this lifetime to create its own expansion. And the blueprint sort of gives you a way to fulfill all of that in the form of your gifts, talents, interests, preferences, affinities, and proclivities. And this is where things like your astrological, numerology, and human design charts come in. So give me a holler if you want a whole episode on all of that because it goes beyond just your personality and your horoscope. It's actually how your etheric template body is coded. And I personally find it fascinating. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, feel free to comment. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can find my contact info in the show notes. And you are always welcome to contact me, give me show ideas, let me know what you're thinking. But anyway, when we get here to Earth, to the third dimension, we forget all of that because it's actually part of the deal, and so is free will, which we could also do full episodes on. So let me know. And your soul knows that going in or coming in, however you want to look at it. So while there's a plan and even kind of a blueprint for you to follow, you don't have the advantage of remembering that. And you have the ability to not follow it because the divine won't interfere with your free will. which is why I highly recommend asking your guides, angels, and whatever you resonate with for help anytime you feel inclined, because that's when divine intervention happens. But that's a little off topic. The point I'm trying to make is that following what you're good at, what excites you, what brings you the most joy, in other words, your blueprint, is going to bring you closer to your soul's plan. But we've all been so conditioned not to do that. How often have you heard someone say that work isn't supposed to be fun? Or that's just a hobby and you need to find something more practical if you want to make money? In most cases, those people are only parroting what they were taught to believe, and they think they're doing you a favor because they don't want to see you struggle or suffer. But the truth is, not following and doing what excites you and brings you the most joy is actually what causes suffering and struggle. And then there are people who do know what they're doing and don't want you to follow your dreams because they can't profit off of it. But the only reason anyone can't or doesn't achieve their dreams is because they get convinced that they can't. And they believe it because what we believe creates our reality. And what we see in our reality seems to reinforce our beliefs. And that's also why some people are extremely successful in achieving their dreams. There are plenty of actors, musicians, athletes, and entrepreneurs who experience wild success doing what they love, things that only a few people ever actually achieve, right? And believe it or not, it's not necessarily because they're better at it than anyone else is, and it's definitely not because they got lucky. There is no such thing as luck, chance, or coincidence. There's only conscious and unconscious manifestation. They succeed because they believe in themselves to the point of never giving up, even if or when other people tell them they should, and in the face of adversity. Their belief in themselves may even seem delusional to others until they actually succeed. And then it's like, oh, well, it was always meant to be. But guess what? Everything that happens is meant to be because you're the one ultimately in control of that. Everything is inevitable, otherwise, it wouldn't happen, right? But we live in an infinite universe that's full of infinite timelines with infinite possibilities in the quantum field. So everything, quite literally, is inevitable. And you can choose to align with whichever inevitability that you want to experience by fucking believing you can. So, how do you do this? The answer is simple, but not necessarily easy. First, you have to remember who you really are. Actually, that's kind of the easy part. Then you have to embody who you really are. And that's a bit trickier because we're all programmed at birth to kind of fear that, right? Or at least the vast majority of us. Because what if who you really are goes against the societal norms and your family and or community reject you? That could threaten your survival. We still have ancient programming in place that actually makes us feel like our literal lives are at stake if we go against the grain, go against the community, go against the standards, because we could get abandoned and rejected by our tribe, so to speak. But it's outdated in modern times. And unfortunately, in some cases, we've gotten abused either by society or our families anytime we've tried to step more fully into our true selves. I speak on this from experience. So it's actually safer to shove down our true selves and put on a false identity that at least lessens the trauma that we experience. It's not your fault if you're struggling with allowing yourself to be who you really are. But there is something you can do about it if you want to begin to fully embody your truest self. You can start by doing some shadow work and inner child healing, because that's what holds the key to the fears that are stopping you from stepping into who you were always meant to be. But if you want a little support and guidance from me, you can also join me next Saturday, March 11th, for a free quantum healing session using my divinely guided sacred energetic alchemy code to clear any fear, shame, and other programming you have around being who you really are. And this is an incredibly powerful healing modality that actually also allows us to transmute those energies into the highest healing energy of divine sacred love and send it out to the collective and down into the earth itself. So we're not just healing ourselves, but the whole planet. And we're doing this just in time to allow more of our own soul light to flow into our physical bodies as a portal begins opening 11 days later, which I'm actually facilitating and embodying your soul light and truest self activation for on March 22nd for my Sacred Souls Society members. So hit up the show notes or description box below for more information on how to attend either or both of those events. And remember, you deserve to live in a reality of freedom, fulfillment, peace, the highest joy, magic, and abundance in every aspect of your life, because that's the life your soul came here to live. And I believe in you, so you should too. Much love.